Joining us now for more, Harvard professor and astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb. Great to have you back tonight. So 2 weeks, Dr. Loeb, after taking pictures of this thing, NASA is still refusing to make those photos public. They're blaming it on the shutdown. What is NASA hiding? Are they hiding something?
Thanks for having me. Well, I'm still of the belief that if they are slow, it's not because of extraterrestrial intelligence, but because of terrestrial stupidity. And so we should just wait, in my opinion. Indeed, the NASA image from the high-rise camera on top of the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter should give us a pixel resolution of 30 kilometers, 3 times better than the previous best image from the Hubble telescope. So we should just wait for that. And the object would actually reach closest approach to the sun in just a week on October 29th.
Right.
That's around the time of Halloween. And we shall see if it wears any customs, if it changes the direction, maneuvers. That would be the optimal time to do so. We can't observe it from Earth because it's hiding behind the sun, perhaps for a purpose. It could also release some mini probes that would approach the planets. And I asked my Galileo research team to look for any unusual activity in the coming months.
Okay, let me stop you just because now I've got multiple questions. I'm sorry to cut you off, but okay. So have you reached out to NASA? Because this is just, look, I operate in the real world, and NASA's supposed to release photos within 24 hours. It's been 15 days. They're blaming it on the shutdown. You're buying that? If there's nothing to hide, then have Jerry at NASA release the photos. It's that simple, right?
Yes, it's actually not NASA. The principal investigator of this camera is at the University of Arizona, and I actually sent an email asking him for the data. He didn't reply. So
wow.
I'm not sure exactly what is going on, but I'm not willing to speculate, and I will use as much data as we have. Of course, I'm very much eager to see it. The other advantage of that image is that we will look at the glow that is presumably started in front of the object, now turning to be behind it. We will see it sideways for the first time when it passed close to Mars.
Dr. Loeb, there are images online circulating right now that seem to show not a giant rock like a comet, but what looks like a fleet of spacecraft sort of clumped together. Have you seen these images?
No, I haven't, and I don't know how reliable they are. There is a lot of misinformation, so we have to be careful.
Okay, next Wednesday you mentioned October 29th. So 3i Atlas, essentially it's behind the sun right now. It will reemerge next Wednesday, and if it is a comet, it should essentially stay on course and head out into outer space. But if it does veer to the right and head toward Earth, that means it is intelligent, and then what happens next?
That's an excellent question. I think Washington, D.C. will have to attend to it. But of course, it doesn't need to change course itself because it's a very massive object, at least 33 billion tons in mass. So it could, for example, release mini probes if it's a mothership.
Okay.
So we have to watch for both possibilities.
When do we know for sure if this is a mothership?
We will know when we see the children of the mothership visiting us, coming closer to Earth. Of course, objects that are of the size of our spacecraft, of order 10 meters or a few tenths of meters, they would be difficult to observe because they don't reflect much sunlight until they come close to the atmosphere of the Earth, and then we will see them. It might be too late.
Are you saying that this, on Wednesday, could reemerge on the other side of the sun and release smaller probes like the movie Independence Day that could then potentially make their way toward Earth? Is that what you're saying? And then I'll just add to that, are you concerned?
Well, it is a possibility. Now, what many scientists miss in this context is that it has implications for humanity. It's not like any other scientific study where you can say, I don't really care what the dark matter particle is. It will not affect my future life. But here there are implications, and therefore we have to be worried about black swan events because of their huge implications, even if the probability that you assign to that is very small. So I think we should look into as much data as possible. And there is a spacecraft called JUICE that is operated by the European Space Agency. They are much more transparent than NASA. And that should, in the first week of November, tell us more about this object.
But next Wednesday, we should at least have some answers if NASA is finally honest with the people
Right.
of the world, not just the American people. The government shutdown should not impact NASA releasing photos if this thing is truly a comet. Avi Loeb, appreciate you being with us. Thank you for that update.
Thank you for having me.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.